Hello everybody, this is Gregory with 5 Minute Catholic Apologetics, and living where 5 minutes of your time may get you to the divine. In light of the papal announcement on Marian apparitions, I thought it'd be good to do a quick review on three: Akita, Medjugorje, and Garabandal. Now before we begin, let's start with a prayer. Nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritui Sancti. Amen. Gloria Patri et Filio et Spiritui Sancto, sicut erat in principio et nunc et semper et in saecula saeculorum. Amen. So, what do we need to know about private revelations and Marian apparitions? We do have a video here early on, I did maybe 2-3 years ago, that the large majority of apparitions are deemed by the Vatican not to either be supernatural or even demonic. Remember, the church investigates these. The church is not naive. It's the longest institution of human history. And so when there is an apparition, even something like Fatima that was witnessed, the October 13, 1917 miracle of the sun, witnessed by over 70,000 people, even that they have to investigate. It's like, is this possibly demonic? So the large majority of apparitions are not approved. And we need to remember that. Private apparitions, or private revelations, whether they be the musings of St. Catherine Emmerich or Thomas Aquinas or whoever it is, never trump public revelation, which ended with the Bible. So let's look at three. Normally the way this works is that the local ordinary or the bishop will do the first determination, and then from there it's going to work its way up to the Vatican. And the reason I picked these three is because the Vatican has not made final announcements on these three, but the bishops have. And when it comes to Medjugorje, we do have an episode here on Medjugorje. So Akita. Akita, Sister Agnes was visited by an apparition of the Blessed Mother in 1973. And that eventually was approved by the bishop of that area as being legitimate, as being something that's worth devotion. Sister Agnes is still alive. She lives in seclusion. She's like 92 years old. Garabandal. I remember watching a documentary on Garabandal when I was younger. I just thought it was really freaky. I think it's just because it was black and white footage, and anything in black and white footage kind of freaks you out. Garabandal it's in northern Spain, and I've been to Spain many times. And I remember my first time I went there in college, I was in San Sebastian, which is in the Basque region, and that part of me was like, I want to go down to Garabandal. But I knew back then that the bishop of Garabandal, and Garabandal, there were four little kids that were visited by Marian. And Garabandal is more about, there's going to be this great warning and chastisement, all these things. Again, this is in 1964, something like that. And the bishop over there said that there was nothing there contrary to the faith, but that there was nothing necessarily supernatural. And people do go to Garabandal, not nearly as much as the last one we're going to talk about. And those seers, one of them's dead, but a lot of them moved to the United States and got married and had kids. And that in itself is kind of, I'm not saying that's gonna somehow undermine these apparitions, but normally, if you look historically at the seers typically go into religious life as a whole. You think of Saint Bernadette. I've been blessed to see her incorruptible body. You look at Sister Lucia with Fatima, Sister Margaret Mary Alcoque with the Sacred Heart of Jesus, and Saint Catherine Labouré, and all, just the list goes on and on. Medjugorje. So Medjugorje is very controversial, and I'm not going to spend too much time on Medjugorje because there's a lot of books out there that have been written since the original apparitions 40 years ago out there, so we're not going to spend too much time. What you need to know about Medjugorje is simple as this. The bishop of that area, Mostar, has consistently, and not just the first bishop who passed judgment, adjudicated on it, but others have consistently said that this is not approved, that it is not legitimate. Now, the Medjugorje people will get upset when people say this, because understand, like when those apparitions happened in the early 80s, a lot of those seers left communism. Yugoslavia was communist at the time, and went to America and went to visit a lot of parishes. And a lot of these parishes, think about it, this is 90s American Catholicism. A lot of these parishes really brought these people in and promoted Medjugorje. And then eventually, if you go to Medjugorje now, and this isn't necessarily discounted, but it is a humongous tourist site, right? No different than Lourdes and Fatima, both of which have been approved. And so the Pope has been pretty consistent to try to remind people that the successive popes, like, this is not approved. But they, at the same time, don't dismiss the pastoral fruits of Medjugorje, meaning that there are people who go to Medjugorje who feel something, who change their life, who have called to conversion. And that is great. That in itself, though, is not the sole proof of an apparition to be approved. So, in closing, Medjugorje, Garabandal, Akita have not received final yes or no from Rome, as opposed to Our Lady of Bayside, which got a definite no, or Our Lady of Lourdes, which got a definite yes. So we have to look at the bishop. Remember, the bishops have the authority for this stuff. And with Akita, thumbs up. Vatican says, okay. Garabandal, nothing supernatural. So, of course, the Vatican's going to be like, well, it's not worth visiting. And then Medjugorje, the bishop said, thumbs down. And again, you can really delve into the history of the Medjugorje apparitions if you want. That's on your time. So we need to kind of, again, be obedient to what the church says, in this case with the bishops, who are the successors of the apostles, say on these 3 sites. Guys, post in the comments. I'd like to hear from you. Until next time, take care, God bless, and pray.